Episode 329 of the TV Dudes, recorded April 21st, 2021. I had something for this. This week, we're talking about shows where protagonists have been laid low. Whether it's Archer returning from a 3-year coma in Archer Season 11 on FX, John Stamos being humbled as a high school basketball coach on Disney+, or the various disappointments of the various people of Mare of Easttown on HBO Max. It's all kind of... Oh, damn, I had something for this.
God, it's on the tip of my tongue, I don't know.
But before we get to all that, I'm Randy.
I'm Les.
I'm Nick.
And we're the TV Dudes.
I love that in your intro, you almost immediately said what I realized we should have called the show, Laid Low.
Yeah.
Like, as soon as you said it, I'm like, oh, that's what we were going to do.
Yep.
Well, too late now.
Well, that's exactly how an Archer sketch would go. Like, only it would be Kanye, was it Stern that said it? And I'd be like, God damn it.
Is that my real name? I won't tell you.
I'm excited because Nick put Archer back on the docket, and so I went and binged through season 11. So we're going to talk about that this time. After skipping, I think I missed all the coma seasons, so it'll be interesting to talk about. But before we get to that, there was some cool TV news this week. The Ted Lasso trailer dropped, season 2. Very excited for that. There was another Apple Plus. They dropped the Mythic Quest
season 2 trailer. Oh, and that bonus episode,
which I have not watched yet. I saw that it was on, but I have not watched it yet.
Nor I.
So Apple Plus is definitely on its game, and I feel like there was something else, but I can't remember what it would have been. So
Shang-Chi.
Oh yeah, and the Shang-Chi trailer.
Another Marvel thing, was it? And wow, that one was awesome.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, that was rad. And then DC followed it up with a teaser of a Flash logo.
I almost feel bad for them.
I remember, do you guys remember when Disney used to drop their trailers right after DC and just fucked with them?
Yep.
Batman vs. Superman the trailer came out and they just did out Civil War, and they used to do that all the time. And now I feel like it's like they don't even bother anymore, which I feel like it's worse. Of like, the only thing worse than Disney kicking you in the dick is Disney thinking you're not even worth kicking in the dick.
It's like that Simpsons bit. Stop, they're already dead.
They're already dead.
Or like watching somebody go around and roast a room and like, nope, you're too easy.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I hope those scrappy guys over at Warner Brothers find some way to get their mom and pop shop operating again.
So I had honestly forgotten who was directing Flash.
Is it?
And it's the guy that did it, Andy.
Oh.
I don't remember his last name. Starts with an M.
Well, there was a crazy thing like that. The star Ezra Miller, is that right?
Oh yeah, he got in some kind of fight, and beat a woman to the ground or some shit.
Oh jeez, I wouldn't even think of that. I was thinking
that was like a year ago.
He and Grant Morrison took over the story and were like, we're going to write a script and you guys are going to do this. I don't know what happened there. I have no idea what they're using.
Well, in his defense, he did say that some sort of weird gorilla made him do it. I don't know why, but
he was trying to make him a better hero.
Right. I don't know. The all the comments, the saving thing. I mean, it was either like Snyderverse alternating caps yellers, or it was people who were like, whatever, it gets us Michael Keaton Batman. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
I was like, fair.
Yeah.
You got my number. I will go see the shit out of this for like a minute of Keaton in the Bat. Even just as Bruce being I don't even care if he's evil Bruce Wayne, like in that stupid CW crossover.
If they do Keaton in the Bat Cave and he's all old and shit, and then suddenly they have the new guy come up and he's got the Batman Beyond costume on, I will lose my shit in the theater.
I can virtually guarantee that will not happen.
I know,
because it is too good an idea. It's not that no one in the room thought of it. It's that they have like a standards person who sits in the corner with a clipboard and is like, no, I got goosebumps. No.
He's the Dikembe Mutombo not letting good ideas through. He just smacks them all down.
Just smacks them down. Yeah.
All right. So let's talk about our TV diaries this week.
The Diaries of the Television Dudes. Brought to you by only the finest cocaine wine.
I guess I'll kick off this week. I have been, in addition to the homework, which was Archer and Big Shot and Mare of Easttown, I continued my binge of Brooklyn Nine-Nine season 2, about about 4 or 5 episodes from the end, I think. It continues to get better and better. I just finished the episode where they have the uh, NYPD, ATF, Homeland Security, like drill.
Oh yeah,
With Nick Kroll.
Windbreaker City.
Windbreaker City, that's it. They started as hostages, and then they quickly decide that's bullshit, and then they rise up and take everybody else out with their paint guns.
Yeah, and Terry just wants to like obey the rules and play
Yep.
it straight.
Yep. And then I watched, of course, Falcon and Winter Soldier, Invincible, a couple more episodes of Zoe's Invisible. Actually, I rewatched all of Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist this week because Megan has been holding off because she lost her father last year to COVID. And so I was like, we love this show, but I don't think you're ready for a show about someone losing their dad.
Yeah, I'll be real. I'm not watching that show right now.
And
Yikes.
and to be honest, that first episode back was what I was worried about, and it was really hard for her. But once we got through that, it was great. So it was just one of those things that it was her idea. She wanted to watch it, and I was like, okay, if you think you're ready, but I'm just warning you, the first episode's going to make you cry a lot.
Yeah, my stepdad's not doing well. My dad just passed, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna appreciate that show, I think, eventually. But right now, it's not. It's a little much.
Yeah, it's a good catharsis, but when it's
gonna
raw,
be.
it is.
I'm gonna be
not-
glad it's there.
Yeah, it's definitely not probably the best idea to watch when you're still raw about it. But really great. 9 episodes in, season 2 has been really fantastic. They're doing stuff about racial injustice in the workplace. They're doing stuff about economic inequality stuff. They're dealing with grief stuff. They're dealing with postpartum depression. There's all kinds of like heavy real stuff they're doing, mixing in with the musical comedy of it all, and it's been really fantastic. So that is one of my favorite shows right now. And I was very happy to go back and check that all out. And then I went back to Made for Love, which just popped up on my Apple TV's queue, and I was like, maybe I'll give this another shot. I like Kristen Milioti, and while I was not like super into the first 3, it starts picking up. And I haven't seen the last 2 yet, but I believe Les you have, and I think you said it ended relatively well.
Yeah, they definitely. I hope they get a season 2 because they're definitely set for it. But yeah, I enjoyed the first 3 more than you did, but I really like this. I enjoyed finishing it out. They dropped them in like chunks too, so every time I noticed it, I was like, oh shit, there's 3 more.
Oh, that explains it. Yeah, that's why there's so much waiting for
Yeah.
me. So Nick, you liked it? You like it too, Nick?
Finale was great. I thought the finale was really, especially the last 10 minutes.
Okay, all right.
It was like, oh
Yeah.
man, I really want to see season 2 now to see where it goes.
Well, I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to it. I mean, honestly, Kristen Milioti is all I need. But Ray Romano's great. Billy Magnuson playing sort of the psychopath is great. The cast is really good. And I liked the girl that they brought in. I think she's only in one episode, but her old like college buddy.
Yeah. I don't know. So you may have gotten to the character they bring in to try to help.
Yes.
Get
Yeah.
her out.
Yeah. The ex nun, maybe not a nun.
I like the implication of like the wrench that she might be in season 2.
Okay.
Like there's a lot of interesting like, okay, I'm used to this world now, and I kind of want to see where this goes.
Yeah, I think the thing I wish I'd kind of seen with 4 is the reveal of like, oh, she was not who I thought she was. Like she was basically a con woman, gay. Like her life was not that great, and seeing the sort of backstory of that, we knew she had kind of a fucked up childhood, but like seeing her like whole con man thing and how she the meet cute with them, I'm like, oh, I get how these two wound up together. It's terrible, but I sort of get it. I like the change of perspective that they threw at us a few times.
It was one of the rare ways that you could have set a story up to make me understand why somebody would go, you know what, fuck it,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna marry you, and I'm gonna vanish off the grid for 10 years.
Yeah.
And like, yep, you have to come from a pretty crap past life.
Les, what about you? What you got this week?
Let's see. This week I of course kept watching Elementary, which we're into the season with Nelson Ellis, I believe is his name. He was Lafayette on True Blood.
Okay.
He had a really great role in Elementary in season 5 as Shinwell, and they were definitely bringing that character in to go somewhere with him. That actor's great, and then he died while filming it. So it's always weird in rewatch to get to this point in the show because it's like, oh shit, he actually died of getting sober.
Hmm.
He was a alcoholic and stopped drinking, and the shock of withdrawals killed him.
Oh man.
So
Shit.
his family literally only spoke out about it. Like they weren't going to discuss his alcoholism at his funeral and wake and shit. Except that they really wanted other people to be aware that, like, hey, be careful trying to get help.
Mm.
So weird point in that show. I also watched Bodied, which is over on Vudu. Nick and I have been to Fantastic Fest before. Usually it means somebody's getting stabbed in the neck when I say it's a Fantastic Fest movie.
Mhm.
Bodied is not that. I mean, it's still some protect your neck shit, but
Protect your neck.
right? It is a movie about a white kid grad student doing a paper about, like, doing his doctoral thesis or whatever about underground battle rap and getting super fucking into it. And of course, he then gets dragged into actually rapping. Eminem produced it. If you like the battle raps in 8 Mile, it's just that for a movie. It's pretty fun. There's a book series I love called Travis McGee series by John McDonald, and they've made a few movies of it. There's 40 of these books. McDonald would never sell the TV rights because he felt it would make people stop reading the books. And jokes on him, people stopped reading anyway. But at one point, they made a TV movie of this with Sam Elliott as Travis McGee. It's a great 70s seedy crime. He helps solve he's not a cop, he's not a detective exactly. He's just a resourceful guy that will help people out for a fee. It's just great. I love the series, and it's fun to watch Sam Elliott be it. Watched a bunch of 30 Rock, watched some Parks and Rec. Fanny and I went back and watched a few movies on hanging out on date nights. We watched Devil Wears Prada, which I thought I'd seen but hadn't.
I've never seen it. Never seen it.
You will yell at the screen a lot. Like, I'm sorry, that's not. You didn't learn shit from that woman. That's not how business can work. Should have set fire to that building and walked the fuck out. Still, it's a incredibly well structured rom-com. Like, I feel like they should. If they don't, they should teach that script. It is so solid. It's Eileen Brush McKenna who wrote Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. She wrote the script for that.
Okay.
Also watched the movie Girl Next Door, which is kind of a mess, but I love.
That I have seen.
That's my boy Timothy Oliphant.
Right, Tim Oliphant's in it. Paul Dano is in it. Emile Hirsch from Happy Endings. Elisha Cuthbert.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Absolutely fun movie. I love it.
You know, it's funny. On 24, she sort of she was playing the daughter, and she was really, they didn't give her a lot to do, and she had kind of a dumb role, and she shouldn't have been there past season 1. And I remember thinking, oh man, I like her. She's cute and all, but I don't think she got anything. And then she did this, and she was playing sort of, it was the naughty neighbor kind of thing. And it was the risky business type thing. I'm like, oh, she's got some range. This is kind of fun. And then she did Happy Endings. I'm like, oh, she's hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah. It was seeing her in Happy Endings where I was like, Jesus, you're great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because before, I think people were just kind of, this is a pretty formulaic movie. It's just cast very well and very fun.
It's got a good cast. Yeah.
I also watched Falcon, watched Invincible. I finished out Made for Love as well. I watched the movie The Watch, which has Vince Vaughn and Ben Stiller and Richard Ayoade.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a lot of dick jokes and an aliens. They're a neighborhood watch that stops an alien invasion. It's basically the plot.
These days, when I see Vince Vaughn in something, I usually get a little nervous. But then he did that Freaky Friday slasher movie, and he was great in it. Was this good Vince Vaughn or bad Vince Vaughn?
Good Vince Vaughn. I feel like somebody wrote a script where they included Vince Vaughn's character from Swingers, like, in the script, and then we're just like, holy shit, wait, we can afford Vince Vaughn? Like, yeah, man, Vince Vaughn's not that expensive.
Let's get a Vince Vaughn type. And they're like, well, Vince Vaughn's kind of on the outs because he's right wing. Oh,
like, you know, Vince Vaughn's out in the room. No shit. Oh shit. Okay. I just thought that was a really good lookalike. What are we paying him? I don't know. We just got to cover his parking. So I also watched Big, which I had not seen in years.
Oh, wow.
How does that one particular scene hold up?
So, similar to Back to the Future, I am aware now that this is super awkward. It never clicked for me when I saw this as a kid, that was weird for her to date him, and him to date her.
As a kid, you're like, this is the best thing ever.
Yeah, none of it's ever clicked. It's like Blank Check. Like, this is not awkward at all.
Yeah.
watching it now, it's still not terrible. Like, I had more questions about, like, his attraction for her than vice versa. Where I was like, okay, dude, you're already aware of girls because you liked Cynthia at the start of it, the tall girl at the start of it, when he couldn't ride the ride. Like, that's what kicks all this off. So I know he's already aware of girls, but this woman that he starts to mac on is basically his mom. Like, the energy she's gonna put off is a lot more like, let me take care of your cut for you. And she does that. Like, she takes care of him getting hit in the fight.
Yeah, I know, so hot.
I'm
sorry, what?
They reference it earlier though, because they're talking about the teacher. The two kids are talking about the teacher, and he's like, they could see down her bra, and I'm like, so that they are attracted to they're
okay, yep.
So like, I think it was like a fantasy thing, but it's also I've seen Big hundreds of times. I love that movie. It's also kind of sweet. Like it's cute, and it's like, that it's like his first kiss, but she doesn't know. But for her, it's totally charming because he seems like this really genuinely sweet guy, and she doesn't know it's because he's a kid. And it's just I think they walk the line pretty well, all things considered.
Well, and the movie ends up doing all the standard thing. Like, he loses his virginity, and that's when he starts to separate from his childhood friend and become kind of an adult dickwad.
Yeah.
and like, all right, that tracks. He's, starts to be serious about taking meetings and crap. And that it's not him dating her necessarily that is the signal that he's turning into an adult from a kid. It's him hiding it from his friend Billy.
Right.
And I was like, all right, I don't know. Great movie. It actually held up really well.
Yeah.
Surprisingly fun movie, Thunder Force.
Okay, yeah.
I am usually not a Ben Falcone fan. The movies that he's made with his wife, Melissa McCarthy, they've looked great in trailers and always been so-so for me.
So what are some of the movies he has done with her? Because I am only occasional
Identity Thief.
Identity Thief, Tammy, and there's one other, The Boss.
Some really bad stuff.
Like, they should be great, and they're just not.
I guess the Melissa McCarthy movie I like is Spy. So
that one's awesome.
Yeah, I don't know if he did Spy or not, but like, I get it. I love the idea, like Mila Jovovich and Paul W. Anderson. Like, that's super great that y'all can just keep making movies together. But I've just generally, whatever chemistry they've got at home, it just does not translate to humor on screen for me usually.
Yeah.
Thunder Force makes up for that by having a bunch of superpower jokes. And you can get an outrageous amount of mileage out of that for me, it seems. I watched it with Lisa. She fucking loved it. Like, we got done watching it, and she's like, okay, I loved everything about that. She's like, the jokes were good.
Huh.
I got a couple, I got a couple of good laughs out of it. Granted, it was watching Melissa McCarthy drink bad milk, but whatever. I laughed hard. And it's women just kicking ass.
I like your description whenever you say you've watched something with Lisa, because it's like, she always tells you her opinion of it afterwards, like she's a Roman cathedral, like thumbs up or thumbs down. You've chosen wisely this week, Les.
Oh, it's absolutely. Yeah.
You may live yet another day.
I mean, we've lost so many Rokus. Just the thumbs down and the hammer and like, yeah, nah.
Are you not entertained?
But yeah, she looked over and was like, that movie was perfect. That was great. So yeah, I would recommend why I was on the fence about Thunder Force, and I really enjoyed it.
Cool.
Then I, of course, watched Big Shot, Mare, and I think I have 2 left in the season of Archer. I can't believe how much I clipped through it. That show hasn't lost a fucking step. We'll discuss.
Yeah, for sure.
Pacing's good on it.
Well, I mean, it has lost a step. He's got that cane. Do the exercises.
Nick, what about you?
Well, I'm also assuming, Les, you slept at some point during that, or not? Like, maybe a couple hours?
That, I believe, was during some of the 30 Rock.
That's so much. That's so much shit.
I'm sad I did not make it to Slacks.
Oh, did you make it to Killer Sofa?
No, unfortunately, nobody would go for those on date night with me.
I wonder why.
Nick, have you learned nothing? It's very clear that Les has burned every bridge he has as far as selecting movies.
Yeah, they'll let him pick TV shows, I guess.
He has used up every privilege that he had in picking movies. They're like,
gonna have y'all watch Happiness at some point.
They're like, so what does Les want to watch? Nobody cares what Les wants to watch.
No one cares. It's like Lutz asking about or suggesting shit for lunch in 30 Rock.
Yes.
So my TV diaries, I guess it's It's time to start the music. It's time to light the lights. It's time for Nick to describe the weird shit he saw on the Muppets tonight. I finished season 3 of the Muppets fully. I'm in like 2 episodes of season 4. It again is pretty weird. Nothing like super weird as in last week, although there was a great episode with Steve Martin where they get Steve Martin on. He's got to be the biggest get for the guests they've had so far. Like, this is SNL top tier, like, huge name Steve Martin. And they cancel the show before he comes on. They're like, oh, we were gonna have a show, but actually we need to have tryouts. We're having like auditions for other acts, and we forgot it was today. So yeah, sorry, Steve, you have to go home. And Steve goes like, oh, that's fine. It's not like I took time out of my fucking day to be here. He gets so mad, he starts going to the auditions under different names of like juggling guy and guy with guitar, just so he can get screen time. And keep getting on for the auditions. So half the auditions amazing. Are Steve Martin bitterly performing in order. And it's like, the joke is hilarious. It's so funny.
That's great.
They bring Big Bird on as a guest, which is cool. Gonzo hits on him.
He's got that chicken, so Camilla might be jealous.
What's Big Bird?
I thought Big Bird's
her, right?
I have no idea.
Maybe.
I think so. Yeah, I don't know.
I'm realizing now that I've always assumed the gender of Big Bird, and that's probably wrong.
That could be. I apologize to Big Bird. Yeah, and they have a episode where everyone they have a cluckitis, which everyone starts sneezing and turns into chickens. And it's weird because they have a penguin that turns into a chicken, and he's like, "Oh, I know who to call for this, Gonzo." Yeah, because Gonzo is known for fucking chickens on this show. That's his thing.
Yeah.
And he comes along like, oh, hey, what's going on, baby? Like, I haven't seen you around here before. Actually, Gonzo, that used to be a penguin. Oh, God. Oh. And like, he's disgusted by it because it's a slightly different type of bird. Wait, what? And it's crazy. I realized that the reason they have Fozzie on there is because they can't get any other comedians, because they've tried a couple other times with comedians to come on. No one wins against Statler and Waldorf. Sometimes it seems like if your agent is good enough, you get to like survive it. Like, you get to back and forth with them and like, okay, draw a gentleman's duel, draw. But either it's that or you get fucking slayed. Like, no one wins. But yeah, what else did I watch? I watched Invincible, which is a show that is surprisingly, almost everything is good about it. In fact, a lot of it is better than the comic, except for how it's paced, which is so bad that it actually ruins the rest of the show for me.
So can I tell you my 2 big gripes with Invincible right now?
Sure, go for it.
One, every time we see the logo, they splash more blood on it. And every time they do it, I get more annoyed because I'm like, that's what you decided was the big thing of Invincible, is how bloody it is. That's your hook. And that pisses me off. And then Mark is a terrible superhero.
Mark sucks.
Really bad at it.
Like, not just that he gets his ass kicked every episode.
No, he's straight up awful at it.
He is the most invincible I've ever seen. He's been near death like twice, but also like his buddy calls him and he's like, "Hey, something's wrong. My friend he lost his phone cut out. You need to go find him." He's like, "But I'm trying to get with Amber at this party." And I'm like, "What is wrong with you?"
Yeah, like, oh, but my girlfriend. I'm like, Mark, what the fuck, man?
Dude, that ship sailed 3 fucking second chances ago, jackass.
And Amber comes off as like a really desperate girl character of like, no matter how badly Mark treats her, and it's ridiculous. And also she comes off as stupid because the friend can figure out that Mark is invincible, but she can't, even though her boyfriend disappeared and a guy with the same body type and hair shows up in tights. And I'm like, wait, no, you've got to be able to figure this out. Come on. Zazie Beetz, Zazie Beetz did this with Peter Parker. Like,
you're telling me. No, that's a different. Zazie Beetz didn't do it. That's Zendaya.
Oh, Zendaya. Oh, right. What am I?
You get one, Nick.
Domino.
You get one.
Damn it. Well, that's my bad.
Yeah, I don't know if Domino figured out that Wade's Deadpool, but she could.
Like, the other thing is, why doesn't Mark fucking tell her? At that point, it's like your friend knows. I mean, I understand you don't tell everyone you date that you're a superhero, but like, you're not in any danger. Like you got to tell her at this point, man, or you got to give them the relationship. You can't do this.
Why is he trying any other way to get her back?
Yeah,
That's the only thing you have to do.
I realized that Marvel has, thank God, gotten rid of secret identities.
Yeah.
Because it's the dumbest fucking subplot that, especially in the Arrowverse, all those shows where everyone just figures out eventually anyway.
Yeah.
And you just have to wait for everyone to figure it out. And it's the lamest way to add tension and drama. And Mark seems dumb because he's like, I'll do better. And I'm like, you can't make that promise. You know you can't.
Yeah.
Because what are you going to do? Just not rescue that bus full of kids because you're going to be late to your date?
Yeah. It's ridiculous.
You're making a promise you know you can't keep, you unbelievable douchebag.
Yeah.
Also, you're going to get killed because you can't win any fights.
Any fights with anyone.
With anything or anyone.
It's embarrassing.
The show's trying to do too much at once. Like that whole fight, it's trying to do, okay, Mark is angry enough to where he gets rage-induced and is powerful, but also he beats a guy that can kick his ass. And also the Guardians show up and get their asses kicked, but also they learn teamwork. And I'm like, guys, you need to spread this out for 3 episodes, especially since next episode, fuck all happens.
Yeah. Yeah.
I could go on about it, but...
To be clear, we're all still watching it, right?
Yep. It's a superhero thing, Randy.
But it makes me angry every time. I'm like, this should be better.
Yeah, this should be way better than it is.
Yeah. There's a couple other things on your list there, Nick. What horrors are you waiting to unleash on the Patreon?
Oh, I suppose I watched Slacks, the Killer Jeans movie, and what was it? Killer Sofa, which is the Killer Sofa movie.
Which I was aware of Slacks. I was not aware of Killer Sofa until Nick told me about it.
Mm-hmm. Both surprisingly better than you might think they are. You think like Asylum level, but they're actually a lot smarter than you might think, and there's a lot of production behind it. I actually really recommend them.
They don't have to be super smart to be smarter than I think they are.
It's not a sofa either. Randy, the chair that you're currently sitting on, is that a sofa?
Yeah, it's actually a killer recliner.
It's a killer recliner.
What?
It's even got the little like release latch, I think.
Well, listen, Australia. Maybe in Australia they call that a sofa. Or in New Zealand. I don't know.
Did you guys just spoil the twist of Killer Sofa for me?
The sofa was a recliner the whole time.
Why didn't they go with Crazy Boy?
And I think, we can play another game of Stranger Than Fan Fiction.
Yeah, let's do that. This is our new segment.
I'm still not even sure if you're telling the truth about us having a Crunchyroll account.
No, you have a Funimation account, guys.
Funimation.
Yeah, it's the I put it on the docket for the TV Dudes thing.
And that's a real thing.
You can't make me watch it.
No, that's the patrons can only make you watch it, right?
You can't make me. You're not my dad.
I can just help them.
So, Stranger Than Fan Fiction is our new segment wherein Nick describes a real anime and a fake anime, and that he made up in his own head. And Les and I try to determine which one is real. Last week, I was 100% certain that I picked out the fake one, and I was wrong.
Yep, it turned out that whatever stabby magic was real.
Magiswords? Yeah.
Magiswords.
Well, this week it is an anime and an American cartoon. So
Netflix anime.
Yeah, the anime is I guess I can't say it. Yeah, I gotta be careful of the names because Randy knows all the weird names of everything. So it's a we'll call it Idol Yakuza, I guess.
Okay, sure.
So it's about 3 brothers in the Yakuza that fuck up so bad from their boss that they not even like 3 or 4 fingers are gonna cut it. They're begging for their lives, and the boss is like, "Well, you're just lucky that I had the greatest idea because I was watching TV the other day, and I saw these idols, and I thought, man, they make so much money. So you know what I'm gonna do with you since you're the smallest guys in our organization. You have the small and right body type. I'm gonna send you to Thailand and get you gender reassignment surgery." And make you female idols. And you're going to be a singing group and make me money that way. So the whole show is based off of these Yakuza guys becoming Japanese pop idols and suffering through otakus and like all these guys flirting on them and having to go through it's way tougher than they first thought it would. They were like, man, I'd rather beat the shit out of people in the Yakuza. It's way less demeaning and more humane, really, than what they do to the idols. Because like they got to do photo shoots and like with photographers that like just they're Yakuza, so they're used to no one talking down to them. But now since they're pop idols, they thought like, oh, we're famous. We'll still not. No, everyone talks down to them. Everyone like, and it's so weird. Like the fact that they have that they have switched their gender doesn't seem to be the biggest deal for them. Like a lot of it is the biggest deal is that, man, I really wish I just had the respect I used to have. And the the boss still beats the shit out of them, which is super weird. And whenever they fuck up, he has to tell them, oh yeah, tell the guys that they had a car accident, because I'm gonna go beat the shit out of them and they're gonna end up in bandages. It is disturbing. I think it's also progressive and yet really regressive at the same time somehow. It's a horror show. I don't know. I was fascinated. I was morbidly fascinated watching it. I couldn't stop watching it.
Like you swung for the progressive fence, but just hit a foul.
Yeah.
or might have like killed the pitcher.
Okay, so show 2, brother and sister adventure time, basically. It's a weird kind of random show. This brother and sister team, they go on adventures. They get an adventure to go fight squirrels, like, which is weird because one of them, the sister, like has a huge fear of squirrels to the point where she locks up and can't. It just can't even process it. She PTSDs back to when she fed a squirrel once, and then all the squirrels, like that Rick and Morty sketch, came over and like, oh hey, what's going on? And they speak to her in this squirrel language that's subtitled, and it's weirdly proper. I don't know. And the brother can't go with her because his adventure dolphin is sick, because that's how he gets around. I don't know how that works because the dolphin is sick, so they never actually use it. But I'm still like, wait, how do you get around? And you know what? Never mind.
I mean, I think you just got to be purposeful about where you want to go.
Fuck yourself, Les.
No.
Damn. Normally I appreciate those, but that was And so so the sister goes out and does the squirrel adventure while the brother stays home with the sick dolphin that's looked after by a pumpkin zombie doctor. And the sister has to go and defeat squirrels with a chainsaw, and she ends up teaming up with the squirrels later after the tree that she's after rolls down the hill, and like they team up together, and it's all sweet. But yeah, that is the weird show, brother and sister adventure time.
That sounds like when people describe the non-Wizard of Oz books.
Yeah.
And you're like, wait, what? Because like Pumpkinhead, reanimated stick dude, like, yeah.
So those are the two shows, guys. Which one is real and which is stranger than fan fiction?
Les, I'm gonna let you pick this one first. Let you see which one.
I mean, again, same as last week. I know which one I would prefer to be real, and then which one I'm pretty sure is real. I think you made up Squirrel Girl.
Got it.
That's my guess as well, partly because I know of Way of the House Husband, which is about the Yakuza guy who becomes a like house husband. And so I'm like, I can see Yakuza guys becoming...
one half, and like, they've done that for a long time.
Yeah. I believe the second one is fake.
Well, the first one is real. That show is called... Let me see here. That show is called...
I'm celebrating, but I feel bad about that victory. Okay.
Goku Dolls, or in English, Backstreet Girls. And it's on Netflix right now.
God damn it, that's actually pretty good. I'm not going to watch it, but that's pretty good. Yeah, that's good.
Oh, I fucked up. I made a mistake. The second one is also real.
Damn you, Nick!
She's got squirrel PTSD, but don't call her nuts.
Maybe you can guess it if I just left a couple details out. Okay, so that dolphin, adventure dolphin, it's also a sword.
Is this Magic Swords again?
What?
It is. It's the second episode of Magic Swords.
Oh my god.
That pumpkin zombie doctor is also a sword. It's a pumpkin zombie doctor sword.
Everything's a sword.
That chainsaw she uses is a chainsaw sword.
It's a chainsaw sword. Yeah. Squirrel swords.
So that his dolphin sword got sick, and he has to take care of it.
Like you do.
Jesus.
Yeah, that's my bad, guys. My bad.
Okay. Yeah, we knew at some point you were going to do both fake shows, but you did both real. That's a different kind of fake out.
I zigged when you thought I was gonna zag.
I respect it. I respect the move.
Warriors for hire are here. It's the name and career. Forces and siblings who quest. Which is what they do best. They have special tools for which they are fools. These guys lose their mind when they collect a find. The mighty magic swords.
Mighty Magiswords!
All right, this is a good time to remind you that you can join us over on Patreon. You can go to patreon.com/tvdudes. Throw us a buck an episode. In exchange, we get to keep up with our streaming services, pay for our hosting costs, and you get bonus content each week. This week, we're not sure what we're talking about, but I believe we're talking about the genre of sentient objects in sci-fi and horror.
We might not. If Les hasn't watched Killer Sofa and Slacks,
we might not.
It's gonna be me talking for like a half hour.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of other movies in that genre. I mean, the stuff is sentient yogurt.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I got you.
So we'll see what happens with the Patreon this week. Also, a reminder that we have our $20 showrunner level. So if there's shows you want us to throw into the rotation, you can buy into that level. Give us a couple of ideas. Second season of JoJo is in the offing. We got to put that on the schedule. And if anyone is signed up for the $20 showrunner level and hasn't sent us a message, send us a message. You can drop us an email, or you can drop us a message in the Patreon chat itself, and we will get on that. Okay, guys, it is time for old business, which we haven't done in a little while. But let's talk about Archer Season 11.
He's out of the coma. So, Randy, did you say you watched none of the coma seasons?
So, I believe I watched... So, there were 3 coma seasons, right?
There's Dreamland, Danger Island, and Archer in Space.
Yeah. So, weirdly, did they do more than one Archer in Space, or did I jump around?
No, there's only one season of Archer in Space.
So, was Archer Vice real? That was pre-coma.
Archer Vice was pre-coma, and that was real.
Real.
Yes. So, I watched a couple episodes of Dreamland, and then I feel like I watched a few episodes of Space, but I did not see any of Danger Island, and I think I didn't know that all of that was in the coma. I knew Dreamland was, but I thought Space was just he was back out of the coma and they were in space now. Like I did not realize that was a genre jump. But you can jump right back in because it's like they make everything clear to you, and I think I fell off a little bit when they were doing Cheryl Carroll as the country music singer. I think I fell off that season. That was Vice, wasn't it? When they were doing the cocaine, and I think Archer Vice. While I thought the idea sounded great, the actual execution left me wanting a little bit, and so I sort of fell off of it. But coming back to this, man, it's like they had lots of step all of a sudden. It was really good.
I did basically the same.
I'm one of those people. No one likes Archer Vice except for me, apparently. I thought it was good, and I thought it was a good idea to like switch things up. Like okay, the spy thing is getting a little stale. And I thought Vice was a better idea than the Dreamland season. The Dreamland seasons are funny, but after the third one, I was really starting to realize none of this really matters. Like none of this is, and I'm surprised that like the amount of character development that I actually am invested in Archer, of like, oh, this isn't progressing anyone's relationships or like, because I'm surprised because like, oh yeah, Archer actually changes over the seasons. He actually gets better. Like, he's not a complete sociopath, I guess. And, he becomes a dad, and he's a little more responsible, and everyone else on the show seems to get worse. And so I'm glad that we're back out of the coma so that, like, we have some real stakes and stuff again, and real, character development that's not going to get wiped next season when he goes into another dreamscape. And yeah, I like the idea of them coming out of the coma and them being a much better team running a lot smoother. They're nicer to each other.
Cyril's been working out.
Everyone's happier.
Look, we had a great team dynamic going before he came back, so let's just roll it back to coma o'clock and oh my God.
Wait, was everyone really happier without me?
Well,
Is anybody
No.
really happy?
Exactly.
No, it's not that we were happier without you. It's just that we became happier when you weren't around. Crap, that's the same thing.
I just mean our missions didn't turn into complete cluster. Oh,
The only one thing that I was a little bit griped about is that they shunt AJ off to the side. Like, oh, she's in boarding school. So that they don't have to deal with that at all. And I was like, I thought I was kind of excited to see that come in. Like, well, how would Archer be a dad to this new kid that's like never like known him? And he's skipped, like he's been like seen her as a baby, but he's skipped 3 years of her life.
but yeah, they boarding scroll her away.
And somehow she aged 8 years in the 3
Yeah.
years because she doesn't seem like a 3-year-old. Because I was like, you don't talk like any 3-year-old I've ever heard, but okay.
So I did basically the same as Randy. I watched through, I think, most of Vice. I fell off. I've seen a few of each of the Coma seasons, most of the Space season, and then jumping back in here. It's great. It really doesn't matter. Like, you can drop right back in because only Archer has any memory of the Comas. And I love that he keeps referencing shit and then being like,
Yes.
oh, wait, none of y'all know that bit. Okay, never mind. That's the thing we used to say in space. We put space in front of everything. It was awesome. You know, none of y'all were there for that. That's a space memory. Yeah, and then from the other side, all of the character development that happened on the team, I also really wasn't present. Even if I'd watched it, you're really not present for. So, because he's just as
Right.
shocked as like, wait, I'm sorry, Cyril's in charge? What?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
watching Pam get hammered and go back into a death fight, though, made the whole season worth it. If I had not loved anything else in the entire season, just watching Pam tag in, knowing that she's got that fucking death poem and her
That was
kill
so great.
tattoos on her back. Oh my God, I love Pam.
Take me in, bitch.
I wanted to ask Conway Stern, have we seen him again since season
Yes,
1?
we've seen him a couple times.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I thought he had not
No,
returned.
he's popped up once or twice. He's not Barry level, but
Yeah, he comes
Yeah,
up only
yeah.
for an episode in like I think season 6, and I think he might be in season 4 at some point, but I can't remember.
Their Barry episode here was great.
oh my God.
Loved the Barry episode, and also Stephen Tobolowsky as
As her new her new
as
fiance.
her new husband. Love that guy. What fun.
Well, it looks like I'm the cream in this, or don't you finish that.
So who was? I didn't catch all the voices, but I did catch that the British not spy, his new valet
Oh,
was Simon Pegg,
Mm-hmm.
and of course Jamie Lee Curtis was in.
and Jamie Lee Curtis is phenomenal. Who is the woman who voices his date when they do the double date thing? Did you guys know?
Oh, I didn't catch it.
I didn't look it up, but it's somebody. The voice cast is always great. It is a lot of fun here. I loved the new improved Cheryl just rolling right back into old Cheryl.
Yes, because she gets choked.
I had a ton of fun with this. I thought they did some really entertaining stuff. I like that they're back doing the spy stuff. I think that really is their sweet spot. But I gather that they're doing another season.
Yeah, that's what I heard too. I thought this was the last season, but no, they're doing another one.
But they don't have Jessica Walters. Like, that's going to be a big loss.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
It looks like that was Nicole Byer.
Oh, holy shit. That's amazing.
That was the double date.
That's great. That's great. Yeah, but this was, I'm glad, Nick, that you put this back, because I was probably never going back to Archer. Like, I was like, I'd written it off as one of those things of like, it just doesn't click for me anymore. But then I go back to it and I remember, oh yeah, I love this and it's really good.
Yeah, the pacing of it, just the way people like, I've never seen a show where people overtalk one another and it's still really funny.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the thing that you're saying about Jessica Walters, like they had that same thing like you were saying with Vince Vaughn of like they were like, we need a Jessica Walters type, and Jessica Walters was like, well, That's me. I'm a Jessica Walter type.
I'll do it. Yeah,
I'll do it.
do it.
This is how we get ants, people. Like she's perfect.
This is
She's
how
so
we
great.
get ants.
By the way, I also want to say their action stuff has gotten better. Like their chase scenes and stuff are really legitimately good.
That opening for this season with it, I know it's a lot of CG motorcycles and shit, but holy fuck.
It was great. It was a great Bond opening.
And the reveal of taking the balaclava off and like who's under the mask the whole time.
Yeah, that was great. Yeah.
People can also listeners can go check out, if you go to the tvdudes.com and click on TV shows, you can scroll through and click on shows, see which, where we've talked about what. It's a great way to find our interviews. People can go listen to the interview we did with Matt Thompson, Chad Hurd, Taylor Parrish, who are the animation crew and producers behind Archer, as well as H. John Benjamin from 2019.
All right, let's jump to new business and let's talk about, this was probably my biggest surprise of the week, Big Shot over on Disney Plus. I had zero expectations for this. Like, the only reason I even put this on the docket was because David E. Kelly's involved. He's like a super producer. Disney Plus has been pretty solid for me. Love John Stamos. And I was like, this might be fun. It's probably gonna be sappy family crap. But I watched it, and man, damn it if Disney Plus isn't making me like the family sports dramas.
Yeah, I had expectations for this. I just thought it was going to be terrible.
Yeah.
I can't believe how fun this episode was. John Stamos is genetically half douchebag. And I mean, his dad is just a fucking terrible person.
I love that, like, he's Rob Lowe if he was just mad. Just all the time.
Is Jerry O'Connell like a younger clone?
Like, he knows that, like, the only reason he has the job is that Rob Lowe asked for too much money, and it shows in his performance. Like, ugh.
That said, I love Uncle Jesse, despite his dad being Mike Love. You ever want to see something awkward? Go look up all the times that Mike Love has, while Stamos is sitting there, said something about how he met Stamos' mom, who was a concert groupie. It's a really bad story, and he tells it a fucking lot.
Oh no!
It's just one of those like, dude, how do you not punch your dad?
It's kind of like my dad always telling the story of how he met my mom, which was he actually brought another girl to the date.
Smooth.
And in my dad's defense, he always said that, like, well, your mom didn't give me a straight answer, so I didn't want to show up without a date.
I thought you were about to say your dad always brought a backup date.
So instead, I showed up and had a really, really awkward conversation with the girl I brought.
God, sorry, you're the understudy, and it turns out she's okay.
So the pitch for this one is basically that he's an NCAA coach who's been
Bobby
basically
Knight,
driven out. He's Bobby Knight, yeah.
Red
he
tie
throws
and all.
chairs, yeah. And that he's been driven out of the NCAA, and so the only place he can find work, his agent gets him like a last chance job at this elite girls prep school teaching basketball to them.
I really enjoyed that conversation with the agent of just like, no, man, no, this is your path back to your path, dude. Like you are fucked.
Yeah. And he comes in, and it's interesting because I thought there was a couple ways you can go. It can be too heartwarming, in which case I'm just gonna throw up all over it and it's gonna be terrible. Or he can be too mean, and then it's just terrible. But instead they really balance it well. Like and they do a good job showing that he is actually trying to be a good dad to his daughter. I think that's a big part of humanizing him. And that realizes this is like surrogate family to him a little bit. And that gives you an insight into why this sort of mean college winning coach would actually have a bit of a soft spot. But also, I thought they did a great job of showing, like, no, he's got a point. Like, he wants to win. They want him to want to win. Like, this is what they want. Yeah. It's just that these are high school girls, and he has to take a little bit of a softer touch, and he's maybe not good at that.
Yeah. Because the girl at lunch that's like, no, I mean, it would be great if we won a game, though.
Yeah. Also, Jessalyn Jocelyn Gilsig, who I love. She was in Boston Public. She was in Glee. And I thought she does a great job playing the sort of assistant coach here. I thought that they bounce off. They've got great chemistry.
Yeah, I liked her taking him out for the beer.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, just like Mighty Ducks, the cast of like kids that they got here is really strong.
Okay, so yeah, they're definitely Netflix started it, but Disney is perfecting the kids they're growing in a vat that are actually good actors.
I mean, Disney's been working on that technology for years.
It's true.
Do you guys remember when child actors were always awful, right?
Yeah, they were. Yes, they were.
Yeah.
Yes, and they mostly still are.
But yeah, these kids are pretty great.
The lead girl, the one who's like dad, is the basically rich guy who brought him in. There's a real nuanced performance there when she could have just been like the snotty bitch girl, and they did a good job of giving her. She's got attitude, she's got confidence, but she also has like.
Well, I
she
like
just
that
wants to make her
she
dad
breaks
proud.
down, like, first she's shitty about it, and then she comes to him like, look, I know I deserve everything you just shit at me, but you don't know me and my dad, the relationship we have. I just need to be on the court. I just need to be there. People are going to be wondering why I'm not there and dressed like the scouts, and then that's going to come back on me. So, like, just please let me be there. And he's like, oh, okay.
And the shot that she hits, that it has that Ted Lasso season finale kind of feeling.
Yeah.
And then the shot she misses, like those two things happening, they give us that one little quick shot of her dad where I mean, it's not like he storms down the bleachers and like snubs her or something, but you can tell that like, oh, you're that asshole. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting because I'm not going to say this is Ted Lasso. Like that's beyond the pale. Ted Lasso is one of the best TV shows on television right now. But it may be Mighty Ducks. Like it might be up to the Mighty Ducks level. I enjoyed it.
I enjoy that. I was thinking they were just going to cold clone Mighty Ducks at best.
Yeah.
And so in that format, we would be 5 episodes away from him backing off of his "I am right to throw a chair at you girls" shit. Like, I mean, Gordon Bombay at this point, and we're 3 or 4 episodes into Mighty Ducks, and he has kind of written sort of a hockey thing on one page secretly of a diary, and like taken down a sign that adamantly says no hockey. That's as far as we've gotten with Gord. Like we're heading like neutral, and calling it progress. So for Stamos to already be like, you know what, I was trying to say that you need more cardio because I see a player that fatigues at the end of the game. But I had not even considered that you don't really want to play basketball.
I like that.
Yeah.
Of like, I think Mighty Ducks had a similar thing of where Lauren Graham came and yelled and was like, you realize none of these kids are ever going to play professional hockey, right? Like, what are we doing? Why are we taking this so fucking seriously? None of these kids are they're going to do this. They're going to do this until maybe college and then never again. And like, they said, like, he's playing with players that know that, like, this isn't my career. Like, one of them, it's like their career path. They want to get a scholarship. Everyone else is like, this is my friends are on the team. Like, this is just the thing I'm doing.
Yeah. It's somewhere between an after school club and something for your college resume.
It's like, sure, they want to win. They would like to win, but it's not the end of the world for them.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of like if you took the super high-end program coach and taught him the lesson. Like, we're taking Stamos' coach out of a space where all the fun is gone out of this game. It's not a game anymore. It's like the obsession that keeps you from having a family and friends. And we're putting him into a space where he's going to remember what's fun about this, why it connects people.
You mean he's going to learn to love the game again?
He's going to love to. It's going to turn out that the game was really the friends we made along the way.
So yeah, I think all of us pleasantly surprised by this one. I had a less of an experience of this with Mare of Easttown.
You're only saying that because the whole cast is terrible people.
You had a less experience, so you watched it and gave every excuse of it and wanted to make sure, like, wanted to love it no matter what. That's the less experience.
So Mare of Easttown, I honestly, if there was more on TV, I would never even watch this because it looked like another self-serious HBO drama based on a novel, which I assume it is. I don't know if it is.
I believe it is.
And like some things don't need to be translated to film and TV, and sad stories of people being bad are many of those things.
What was that fucking boring show on AMC? Under the Sun?
You're gonna have to be more specific.
You gotta narrow it down. Low Winter Sun.
Low Winter
Winter
Sun.
Sun.
That's what it reminded me of like, there's nothing significantly different about you. You are the generic brand on the shelf, but you're the generic brand of HBO level like production.
Yeah.
This is not based on a book. I just assumed there was a slow book behind this.
Me too. I guess it's just based on someone's boring script. So this is Kate Winslet, Gene Smart, Guy Pearce. Like, there's a good cast behind this, and I watched it, and it's like all the performances are good, the production values are good, and I hated it. Everyone is so sad and terrible, and I'm like, man, I know that this is real, but I do not want to see the realistic tale of a couple of teenage parents who are not equipped to parent a baby. Like, that just made me sad.
Did you guys watch the afterwards thing of where they described how the creators were making it?
No, by the time they got to that, I didn't give a fuck.
I watched it and it was fascinating. It was exactly what I thought, because they were like, we wanted to find a place in USA that was like this Midwestern town that was. I'm like, you know what? You've made a town that I've lived in, and that's a boring fucking town that I don't like, that no one wants to go back and live in anymore. Like, the only thing you can do about it is to make it a comedy and make it Eastpeck from fucking Trial and Error.
Yes, for exactly.
I had the same feeling, Nick, that like, oh no, I've been here. This is dead on real. Like, bravo for nailing it. Also, we all fucking moved out of this town. Like, this is just going to be the worst slow motion car wreck that has ever caught fire with a baby inside. That's how fucking bad this is going to get.
Yeah.
And like, they're killing it on the acting, but it's like the Oscar bait set of movies at the end of the year where I'm like, that's just going to be the saddest fucking thing. What was the Tracy Jordan one in 30 Rock? Like, hard to watch.
Yes.
Like, straight up. Yeah, the performances are good. I found myself interested in the murder mystery, but what I realized watching this was, if it's going to be this realistic, I need this to have been a true story and be a documentary.
Yeah.
I would watch the documentary about this murder. I don't want to watch the dramatized show. It's not about a fictional murder. Like, anymore. Like, if I was going to watch a show like this, I'd have finished watching the one where Ruffalo cut his fucking hand off.
Yeah, exactly. It's one of those.
That at least started crazier.
And it's Sharp Objects. It's every one of these shows. It's the Big Little Lies. It's all of those shows. And I have room for maybe one of those shows in my life every 2 or 3 years. And that slot was taken up by Dirty Pretty Things or whatever the thing was on Hulu that Kyle and I finished watching. Like, that was it. I don't even remember that one. I just I watched that one all the way through. Now I'm done. I've done that homework. I'm not watching more of your depressing.
I need a Lost movie or a Blue Door or a Wax Key or something.
Come back to me 3 years from now.
Yes. Yeah.
If your show, no matter how good it is, if I'm rooting for someone to fucking die on it just for something to happen, I'm like, okay, someone's getting murdered on this show, right? Or am I watching these people just live their fucking boring lives? And it finally happens, and just get the phone call at the end. I'm like, you fucking assholes! You wasted an entire whole episode on this.
The most exciting things that happened in the pilot were the 2 times that I yelled at the screen because Mare is so fucking annoying.
Yeah.
Like, I don't mean Kate Winslet's performance, which is uniformly great, like all Kate Winslet performances.
Yeah.
I mean, the character of Mare is infuriating. And I know she's supposed to be, but her laying into the mother of the dead child who is standing there with her cancer wrap on her head.
Yeah.
Like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
And then separately, when she's talking to her daughter, who is clearly parenting the other child. And asking her what all's going on, and then after asking a series of questions that obviously shows that you have no idea what's happening with the youngest child, and that you are very lucky that your older child is just raising that kid. Then she gets it, and it's not bad writing. I see the psychological flip, but then she gets fucking angry at that kid and is like, "And you better get your stuff in on time." And like, bitch, I'm doing everything in this house.
The thing the only sequence of this show where I kind of liked it was the joy of like her ex marrying someone else who's clearly better than her, and the kids like there's a happy family across the street from her, and I think we're supposed to sympathize with Mayor. Like,
That's
oh,
the best thread of the whole fucking episode.
look at the family. Look at the family she lost. I'm like, no, thank God for that.
That's so Midwestern. That's so like a town out of Wisconsin here of like your ex moved to the house next door.
Yeah.
And remarried like right next door. Like that's such a thing. Like that's the weirdest dynamic. And I get that she hates it, but also the comparison does not make her look good.
No, not at all.
And every one of her friends being like, yeah, we knew, and hang out here, get drunk or whatever. I got to get we're heading over to that party.
And she's like, oh, I don't need some statey to come in and help me on this case. I'm like, the case you've obviously stopped working on because you have had nothing over a year.
When her boss has to tell her to sit the fuck back down. We are discussing that there are no leads on this. And like, yes, you can't act like, well, I'll get to it. Like, no, you're not getting to it.
And see, I think this is the thing. I think what they're trying to do here is to some extent the what was the bad boy anti-hero male protagonist. But the thing about Walter White and Vic Mackey and those guys is that they were bad guys, but they got shit done.
Yeah.
Mare seems to be incompetent at doing
and
what
checked out.
The only thing she's good at is fucking up her life, and I don't want to watch that.
Well, she chases after the what's his face, the brother that stole all that shit.
Yeah.
And cuts her hand and hurts her like
she hurts her
leg. The other guy cuts his hand. I'm like, what are you doing even chasing this guy? He stole some shit.
And you know him. You clearly know him. You're chasing him to his house.
You're chasing him to his house that he lives in. Why are you even fucking running?
Yeah, it's also probably not a great time to give me a cop-centric showing me a cop story. Like, I don't give a fuck about this cop.
Well, also it's like, like chasing this black guy that's stolen maybe $100 worth of stuff and chasing him like he's a suspect.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Dude, just walk. He's going to his house. You know where the fuck he is.
Yeah.
The hardest I did get one laugh out of it. I don't think they intended a single laugh anywhere in this show or even on shows that air on either side of it. But I did laugh hard when she's walking Freddy out of that house in handcuffs, and out of the side of the frame, his fucking sister runs in from the side and clocks him in the face.
She comes out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere, man.
That was great.
She running jump punches.
I
like
loved
some sort
it.
of video game move.
It is some flying tiger looking shit. I loved it. I laughed my ass, and they're like, "Whoa, hey, what the fuck?" And I know they did not intend that, but I was like, this is just great.
Yeah, it's one of the great moments in the show. Yeah, I will not be watching any more of this for sure. I am definitely done with Mare of Easttown.
I deeply wish that this was just a documentary. It's too real to be fun, but it's not real enough. I don't know. Yeah. I don't think I'll be watching more.
Y'all, time for dessert?
Oh, it is time for dessert, baby.
All right. Let us talk about the penultimate episode of Falcon and Winter Soldier, which I loved.
It real good.
This was a great episode overall, but it opens with 10 minutes of holy fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the Cap Winter Soldier fight scene from like bouncing the shield between the three, all of that.
Yeah.
Like, it's just awesome. But then we spend like 30 minutes of this son of a bitch tying knots together on a boat.
That was my favorite part of the episode.
I really enjoyed it, but I realized I was like, we've been on this boat for a while doing no.
Well, you realize that they put their action scene in the front rather than the middle like they usually do.
Yes, exactly.
And I love the fact that how they started that was like, what was it? John Walker's like, you don't want to do this, and Bucky's like, yeah, we kind of do.
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I do.
Yeah. I loved all the stuff on the boat and in Louisiana because we would never get this in. They don't have time for that in a Marvel movie.
Mm-mm.
There's no way you have time for 20 minutes of them in New Orleans bonding.
I love the fact that they cold call everyone in on their favors that they owed people.
Loved it.
They finally break down of like, look, It's not necessarily asking out for help. We've helped this community. This whole community has helped each other this entire time.
We're owed.
So what's wrong with us cashing in some of those favors we earned?
And everybody responds like, man, anything for y'all. Yeah. Like, all you had to do was ask.
All they had to do was ask. And it's a good answer to all the people who are like, why didn't Falcon ask for help? It's like, oh, it's not because they wouldn't help him. It's because he's too proud to ask.
Yeah.
And once he asked,
it really was a problem that like wasn't a problem other than the fact of him getting out of his own fucking head. And I love the interaction between Bucky and his sister.
Oh, they're so good.
Yes.
So good.
Yes.
She eye fucks him so hard when he shows up. And he's like, oh, hey.
I loved it.
You want to see my white wolf?
I love that. Loved it.
Why didn't you use the metal arm? I don't always think about it.
I'm right-handed. That was so good.
I love he stops and he's like, oh, right.
Yeah. I don't immediately think of it, you know?
But then they also do the great bit of the montage where they show like Sam working away at the boat and he comes over with the hand and just pulls it off.
Yeah. or the guys are like, hey, we got you this new piece for the motor, but we don't know how we're going to get it onto, and Bucky just...
Yep. Yeah. That was great. I also thought the little bit of, it's not Schrodinger's box, but the box from Wakanda, that Winter Soldier is like, hey, one more favor. And I'm like, are you guys going to show me what's in that box, or are we going to wait till another episode?
So is it a Falcon suit, or is it the Sam Falcon cap suit?
It's the Sam Falcon cap. I'm 100% sure.
It's gotta be. And it's going to be so fucking cool.
It's going to look so good.
Also, he left the wings with Joaquin, who may become a new Falcon.
Yes. Which, I mean, I was kind of waiting for that kid to have something really fucking horrible happen to him, honestly. Because in the comics, he gets, like, mutated into a Falcon, right? Mm-hmm. But there's no Red Wing to... No, I mean, because in the comics, Red Wing is not a drone. Red Wing's a real bird. And that dude gets, like, genetically blended with him.
Yeah, yeah.
He gets, like, half-birded.
It makes sense in the comics. It would not make sense in this show.
And don't do that to him. That's just bad.
No.
Like, I don't want weird bird dude.
Also, I thought the training montage... I love Winter Soldier and Sam having a catch with the shield.
Oh, my God.
Catch.
Was so good. Just having a catch.
Just casual conversation, throwing the shield around.
I love seeing him have to practice doing that stupid catch.
Mm-hmm.
That because it is only comic book movie physics that you can snake your arm through the leather straps to catch it like that. Like, when they throw it and it sticks in the tree. Yeah. And I'm like, so when you catch it like that, if your hand is an inch up, it's gonna bury in your wrist somewhere.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to fuck up that
your
catch.
arm like cap splitting.
Your arm's gonna liquefy.
Yeah. When he throws it out over the fucking water, though, I yelled at him like, "Stop that! If you miss." I kind of, part of me kind of wanted to see a scene where he throws that thing like a quarter mile out into the fucking water and is like,
oh god damn it, this is what I'm doing for the rest of the day.
I guess I got to go borrow diving equipment.
I thought they did a great job with showing him when he throws the shield, it comes back at me like ducks, and it's like, oh, that about took your head off. Like, I like that they make the shield fast, and they did a great job with that training montage. I thought they did a great job of making it show just how much he had to work on it and how cool it is when he gets it.
Yeah.
Also, the kids playing with the shield and Bucky sort of smiling over at him, such a great moment. So many great little moments in here.
They get caught like, oh shit, and just run off.
When he goes and talks to Isaiah, and Isaiah lays... There's a couple times they've gone places in this show that I did not expect them to go.
That whole Isaiah thing was amazing.
For him to lay that down of, like, not only, like, will they never let a black man be Captain America? He's like, what self-respecting black man would want to? I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, his fuck you to Sam was...
Don't unzip that. I don't want to see that fucking thing. Yeah.
I loved it because when he came to Isaiah, I immediately thought of Randy and his theory, and I'm like, oh, this is on episode too soon. So they're definitely not doing it.
I saw online somebody pointed out that basically what Isaiah's jailed for is the same thing Cap did.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. That's not an accident. I'm sure of that.
I went behind enemy lines and rescued some people we were going to leave for dead. It's basically what Cap did. Except I got jailed for it.
He got made Captain America. I got put in jail for 30 years and experimented on.
Also, just them getting thrown in the jungle, not having been told really what they were injected with. And then just like, I don't know, man, some of us are stronger. Shit, you just died.
Yeah.
Like, there was a moment where Isaiah realized that he's the only one rolling well with this.
Yeah. Yeah. What do we think about the Sharon Carter theory at this point?
I still think she's Power Broker.
I'm
It seems
solid
really
on it.
likely.
Well, they introduced what's her name? Fucking
Count-
New Adventures of
Countessa.
Old Christine.
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah, we
Contessa.
gotta talk about that. Yes.
Well, these boots are not made for walking. Valentina Allegra de Fontaine. Actually, it's Contessa Valentina Allegra de Fontaine. I know it's hard, but I don't like to repeat myself, so you can just call me Val. But don't call me Val, just keep it in your head.
Just thinking in your head. Don't say it out loud.
Don't say it.
Yeah.
Julie Louis-Dreyfus, when she showed up, I was delighted. I love her. But when she said her name, which is one of these classic, she's Nick Fury's ex-girlfriend from S.H.I.E.L.D., she's a major character, that they were doing that was my holy shit, it's the same Notebook moment. Like, it was the moment of this episode. It's like, holy shit, this is awesome.
And apparently she was supposed to show up in Black Widow first, but the switch in release dates.
I want to know who she's working for. Like, is it S.H.I.E.L.D.? Is it S.W.O.R.D.? Is it somebody else? Like,
She's working for Power Broker. She's
You
working for
think?
Sharon.
man.
Disney wants you to think that she's Power Broker, but
Hmm.
obviously she's not. Just
No.
no way she's
Yeah.
Power Broker.
Yeah, no.
She's a badass, and she's working for Sharon. That's how badass Sharon is.
Yeah. She's either working for Sharon or she's her own thing, buying henchmen off Sharon.
Yeah.
I didn't expect to see Batroc again either. I was super pleased to see Batroc again. So
Batroc is le power.
there's a lot for this to live up to. We're coming up on the final
Yep.
episode. And I'm
Cannot wait to see what
super
happens.
excited. Yeah. All right, guys. I think that's it for this episode.
Yeah.
Thank you, Les. Thank you, Nick.
Thanks, Randy.
Thank you.
Thank you to our patrons. Thank you to our listeners. And a reminder that you can go over to patreon.com/tvdudes. Throw us $1 an episode. Listen to our hundreds of hours of content talking about, I don't know, furniture that kills you or something. But until that next time.
TV Dudes
Chorizo.
out! The TV Dudes is an independently run podcast out of Austin, Texas. We are exclusively listener supported. If you'd like to help us out, go to patreon.com/tvdudes.
You can also find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at TV Dudes. All the music for our show is done by our friend and original TV Dude Gregory J. Amani Smith.
To find out more about us, go to thetvdudes.com. I'm Randy Lander.
I'm Les Weiler.
And I'm Kyle Scott.
Thanks for listening.